The Chevrolet Bolt has long been one of the best EV deals around. In fact, I said as much in a 2020 review of this vehicle over 2 years ago. But the story doesn't stop there, as you might expect. Chevrolet has continued to fine-tune the Bolt EV, resulting in this 2023 model, which has been updated inside and out. But the big story isn't that, but the fact that for the 2023 model year, the Bolt is officially the least expensive electric vehicle on sale in the United States, with prices starting at an unbelievably low $26,595. Want to learn more? Well, of course you do, so let's jump right into it. So what's new with the Bolt here since we've last seen it on the channel? Well, for 2022 it did receive a visual overhaul with new bumpers, lights, and a slight tweak to the wheel design. It's certainly a more mature look than its predecessor, and elements like those slimmed down headlights definitely do tie it into more recent Chevrolet models in the lineup. The Bolt's interior also got an upgrade for the 2022 model year, and in my opinion it's a pretty comprehensive improvement. The center console down here has been reworked, ditching the conventional shifter for the automatic transmission and replacing it with these buttons instead. That's totally fine by me, but the real big perk here is the fact that allowed Chevrolet to kind of reconfigure the whole center console, moving the cup holders, which were originally kind of in front of the transmission shifter and kind of tucked almost under the dashboard, kind of here to this more central location, which is definitely better for ergonomics and day-to-day use. The more notable upgrade here, however, is the new infotainment display. Sure, it's the same 10 inches in size as in previous Bolt models, but with a nicer interface. The old system worked totally fine, but this new one is just an extra bit nicer to look at and to use. It also features standard wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. This top-level 2LT trim Bolt also has features like powered and heated leather seats, a heated steering wheel, and thanks to a $595 infotainment upgrade package, we have a 7-speaker Bose audio system and wireless phone charging down here. That's definitely an option box worth ticking. Oh yeah, and the Bolt's practical hatchback shape means that 4 6-foot-plus adults can comfortably fit in here no problem. Though if you'd like a bit more space, the slightly larger Bolt EUV, which is 6 inches longer than this and costs just $1,600 more, is also available. The only real bummer about this interior, as far as I can suss out, is the fact that it still does feel just that bit plasticky around the edges, which is certainly a bummer. Oh, and for some reason, Chevrolet actually pared down the number of interior combinations you can get to just black and black. That 2020 model I reviewed had a really cool off-white and black two-tone interior that really lightened things up in here. Oh well. With that out of the way, let's hit the road and talk about some other Bolt-isms. The Bolt is a solid driving car, and like most EVs, it feels really zippy around town. Chevy claims it does 0 to 60 in just 6.5 seconds, which is pretty punchy, and like all electric vehicles, that power delivery is immediate. The Bolt does not have a ton of options or configurations available, making understanding it pretty simple. It has a single motor that powers the front wheels and produces 200 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque, which certainly explains the strong acceleration. Yes, the Bolt is single motor only, making it front-wheel drive only. No dual motor all-wheel drive setup is available, which is a bummer, but certainly does keep the price point down. Also, like many other EVs, the Bolt supports one-pedal driving, which not only makes the driving experience of an electric vehicle more fun and engaging, but does improve efficiency. You can toggle it on or off by pressing the button down here in the console. When one-pedal driving is engaged, simply letting off the accelerator will cause the Bolt to slow down. Like that. All the way to a complete stop if you'd like. Oh, hi there. It's your boy, just checking in. Are you enjoying the video so far? Well, of course you are. That's because this is some grade A primo content we're talking about. So go ahead and show your support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. It's free and helps the channel. Alright, back to the video. The engineering behind that is brilliant. Basically, the electric motors ramp up their resistance when you let off the gas, increasing the drag against the rotating wheels. It turns that kinetic energy of slowing those wheels down and shoves it right back into the battery, slightly improving efficiency. My advice is to always leave it on and let the electrified powertrain work its magic and give you a few extra miles of range on a full charge. Why not? When the Bolt originally debuted in 2017, it had a 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack, which meant the range was a claimed 238 miles. In 2020, that got bumped to a larger 66 kilowatt-hour battery pack, good for a claimed 259 miles, like this vehicle has here. And I'm happy to report in my real-world testing that those quoted figures are dead on, if even a teeny bit conservative. Judging on what I've seen, the Bolt's returning closer to 270 miles on a full charge, though of course your mileage may vary, literally. Still, that's pretty sweet. A 120 volt charging cable comes as standard. That's totally fine for your regular old wall outlets in your garage or whatever, and a 240 volt cable is available for a nominal upcharge. The word around town is that Chevrolet is subsidizing the cost of installing a 240 volt charger in people's homes if you buy one of these things, so be sure to inquire with your dealer about that. A quick breakdown on the basic math. As per usual, a 120 volt charger will get you about 4 miles of range in an hour of charge. It's really not the recommended way to charge any EV. Meanwhile, that 240 volt charger will take this thing from completely flat to completely full in about 7 hours. The Bolt also supports DC fast charging when you're roaming out and about the country, and if you want to learn more about kind of charging rates and how this stuff all works, I do have a link in the annotation above to kind of explain this a bit more. With the tech talk out of the way, let's get back to some of the more seat-of-the-pants feeling type thing you get from behind the wheel of the Bolt. I like how agreeable the ride quality is. This thing definitely is geared towards comfort and not sportiness, and I do appreciate that. The Bolt may not be a particularly sporty handling thing at first glance, though as is the way with many EVs, because all those electric batteries are tucked nice and down low in the floor, the center of gravity feels quite low. And this thing has a relatively low curb weight of just 3,560 pounds, which is pretty light for an EV. So don't get it twisted. This thing can handle on a winding road if you push it. A big thing people ask about with smaller vehicles in general is the way it rides and handles on the freeway, and I'm happy to report this thing is solid as can be. It feels utterly unperturbed doing higher speed passes in the left lane. Then there are some more ergonomic things. I love how much glass there is in this cabin. It means the outward visibility in this vehicle is fantastic. And when you combine that with features like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and a really tight turning circle, it means that driving this thing around town, and especially in parking in LA, is an absolute breeze. But let's get right down to the dollars and cents. Like I mentioned right at the front of this video, the price of the 2023 Chevrolet Bolt is frankly shocking, pun totally intended. For the 2023 model year, Chevrolet dropped the price by $5,900, giving you that 26 grand entry-level price point. Even this well-equipped tester works out to just $30,265, and it's an absolute bargain from where I'm sitting. There are a few factors behind that price drop. The most notable one is the fact that General Motors, the parent company of Chevrolet, has officially sold over 200,000 electric vehicles, meaning they've lost the $7,500 federal tax credit used to get electrified vehicles. So dropping that price point is definitely a way to stay competitive in an increasingly competitive market. Frankly, I see this as a huge win for consumers because, well, not everyone's going to have $7,500 worth of tax liability come April. However, everyone can immediately enjoy that discounted price, and the fact that does make this the cheapest EV on sale in America. Take that, Nissan Leaf. While that federal tax credit may be gone, as I pointed out in my 2020 Bolt review, there may be additional local perks in terms of pricing or leasing depending on your area. So it pays to do some research while you're shopping. So let's wrap it up here. The big demerits of electric vehicles as far as consumers have been concerned has always been two things: cost and range. So credit to Chevrolet for basically bringing the cost of an electrified vehicle at parity to a gasoline-powered one. Because the Bolt is basically the same price as Chevrolet's own Trax compact crossover. That's really the amazing rate of progress happening in the world of electrified vehicles. The Bolt is well equipped and practical and has strong range, and now for 2023 with this reduction in price point, it becomes an unbelievable value. This thing absolutely blows a Hyundai Kona EV or a Nissan Leaf or even a zero-option Tesla Model 3 out of the water, dollar for dollar. All of this makes it an easy recommendation from me to you. It's a great EV to maybe convert you into the world of electrified vehicles for the first time. It's also a great vehicle to maybe swap into from one of the other alternatives. Because of this price point, I mean, I'm just so impressed. And I think you will be too. And I think that's a great way to end things. As always, guys, my name is Jake. You've been watching Drive, Brake, Fix, Repeat, and I'll see you guys next time where I go do more fun things with cars. Bye.